Super, super.
I am super.
I am super.
Thank you for joining us at the You Are Super podcast. And you know what time it is. I am
Super.
I am
Super.
I am
Super.
everything I do in life will be.
Super and successful. I had to add that to it. I just wanted to flow.
He did a little combination.
Yeah, a little combination. That's all.
Whatever I invest my energy into, it will come out.
Successful.
My business, my family, my life, my everything will be
Successful.
because I am
Super.
Super. I am.
Super.
Hey, let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Woo!
Let's get it.
Okay, so today we have another podcast for you guys. We have a special guest today. We're going to go ahead and let him introduce himself since it's his first time. Go ahead and tell us about
For
yourself.
sure. Yo, it's your boy James Quince Williams, native guy, advocate, entrepreneur, businessman, just giving back and doing what we do best, man, is paying it forward.
Love that. No, I just had a podcast recently with this guy on Fleek's podcast. You should go ahead and check that out.
Yes, sir.
And we had such a great conversation that I had to have him on this podcast.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to love this topic. This topic is about how to take accountability and what is it called for us to do when we are starting a business, starting the road to entrepreneurship, basically. What does it call for us? What do we need to do? What do we need to make sure that we are on top of? Things of that sort. So, with that being said, let's go.
For sure.
So, when it comes to entrepreneurship, how has been your journey?
Man, it's been ups and downs. Like, it's never a straight line. You got to go through some steps. You got to go through some mountains. You got to go through some hikes. As an entrepreneur, man, it's all about, not giving up, but you definitely going to have some critical moments where you want to throw it in. Cause I'm not going to be the type where I'm going to say like, oh man, it's the best thing ever. You know what I mean? No, it's going to be some moments where you're going to be like, I quit. I'm straight. Or I want to go back to certain things that, not saying whatever you're doing was regular, but to go back to certain things that you feel uncomfortable with, or some things that, you doing things that, wasn't you, or you felt like it wasn't the real you or whatever. But, not having entrepreneurship and actually doing something that you value and love, it's major, man. And the beauty's in the struggle. You know what I mean? So for me, coming out, and doing the things, it started off from who I am and what I'm going to be. So as an entrepreneur, man, I pretty much started with the group and the caliber of my area from the resources, and that's how I was able to build from it. So it always starts from the beginning and where you come from, and then build from there is to where you're going. Because without those people that you have in the beginning, you're not going to be as successful as you are today or where you're trying to go. So it always starts from where you come from.
Yep. So let me ask you this. What happens when some of those people from where you came from start becoming toxic? Because not everybody is meant to go with you, and not everybody is there to be a foundation. Sometimes we have seasonal leaves that come upon our trees that fall off. Not saying that those leaves are insignificant to the role of life, but sometimes when you try to keep certain things on, try to keep certain roots in the ground, eventually those roots will suffocate the growth. So in your experience, can you tell us how has it been for you, and what is called for when you go through a situation like that?
Oh, definitely. For me, with experience, man, having those people that, they come and go. Like, what I mean? That's just life. You can't always, take ownership or take value of everybody's life. It's the whole Snoop Dogg rule. And pretty much it's like where you going, and this is where they at, you got to come down to close the gap, to try to get to people. But as you go down, if you go down, you go down with them as they trying to come up. So they got to come to you. So for me, when I had that experience, man, is that you got to be crazy enough to know, like, all right, I'm going to go this route. And if they don't come, that's okay. If they do come, hey, we're going to reach the top together. But no matter where I'm going, this is what I see. And that's usually God's vision, because mountains get higher, but every time but one mountain, it's another mountain. So you got to be humble enough to know that you got to lose some steps. You're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose some people. But it's just the value of staying true to what you see. And if they real friends or people that's in your life, they're going to come too.
Man, I love that completely because it goes beyond just like who your friends are. It goes beyond what you see in people. It goes to what you see in yourself.
Right.
Like a lot of times we do things based off of what the world thinks of us and what the world wants from us. And we're not truly accepting what we want. We're not truly going after what we desire.
Yeah.
So it causes friction within ourselves for us to be uncomfortable with doing certain things because we are too focused on trying to please the Johnsons when the Johnsons got their own life.
Yeah.
You need to figure out your life.
Exactly.
And once you figure your life, that's when you have to understand that the path that you choose to go, there's going to be some people that agree. There's going to be some people that don't.
Exactly.
Some people will doubt you. Some people will support you. Some people will be your fan. Some people will hate you.
Right.
Some people will say that you're stupid and that you should go back to that day job. Other people will say, if you continue to go forth and do what you need to do, you're going to push through and get benefits that day job can't get. But it comes with sacrifices sometimes. Yeah. And when it comes to friends and people, I am really trying to be sensitive with that word sacrifice because I feel as if a lot of times this cut-off culture that we have is toxic. Like social media is telling you to cut off everybody. Cut off if they don't like you. Cut them off if they disagree with you. Cut them off if they criticize you. Cut them off if they do all this stuff. I don't agree with that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're not really supposed to be burning our bridges because somebody still will support you. Somebody still will be in disagreement with you, but still try to look out for you. And when they see that they find somebody that's connected to the things that you're doing, they may try to connect you, but you lose that because you disconnected from them completely.
For sure.
You have to understand that there are some things that you can share with people, and there's some things that you can't. There's some things you can do with people, and there's some things you can't. There's some people that's going to be there for a season, and there's some people that you're going to have to like stay back for a season. Yeah. However, you can still give them love. You can still show respect. Sure. You can still show appreciation for them. You can still have gratitude for them. That way, you could keep them as someone that is there, and also not just trying to get from them, but also giving into them. Like, because when you give into something, the world will find ways to give back into you. Sure. So this cutoff culture has really irritated me to a strong sense because it's like a lot of entrepreneurs could be so much further if they expand their network. Yeah. But we are taught to decrease it in order to flourish. Yeah. Like, you're supposed to find out what your market is. Like, I know where I want to market to. I want to, say for instance, I want to market to 30-year-olds that is single, that is that has a net worth of 100,000 to 250,000. Okay, you got your target. Yeah. But just because people aren't a part of your target, don't mean you got to cut them off. Sure. Yeah. So, with that being said, has there been anybody that you had to cut off?
No, what's so crazy that I usually when you say cut off too, I usually look at in bridges that we said. And by the way, too, I want people to take this aspect in that. Usually, you don't usually always burn bridges. Some people usually burn themselves. And, when you doing different things.
Repeat that again.
Sometimes, no, for sure. Sometimes you usually don't burn bridges. Some people usually burn themselves.
Woo!
And usually with that, though, it's like as you start to grow in different things in life and when you reach a level of success, things have to change. Like, just like when you go in the elevator, right? And you go into the second floor, you're no longer on the first level or the lower level. You go into the second level. And usually when you go to the fourth level, fifth level, you're no longer on the second or third level. So you have to understand each level is different. So as you get higher, you become, you're part of the Hamptons, or you become a part of certain things that now it may look when you're at this level, you're looking down, but you ain't always looking down as in like, I'm looking down or beneath you. I'm just at a different level. So, hey, you could come this way too. But if you don't, which is fine. But you know what I mean? But in life, man, that happens though. And you got to understand too, that when you trying to get where you're trying to go, or when you're trying to understand the laws of having different resources comes with different communications. So like you also have to understand your crowd. I know you was talking about, where you want to market to. So how I look at it is in like, all right, I got my friends, I got my close friends, I have my business friends, and I have my associates. All of them, I have a different relationship. My close friends or my families, like my mom, my sisters, they know everything about me that most people don't. Then I have my friends where, hey, you know, we may go out, we may talk about certain things. I have my business friends where we really just talk about business. Mm-hmm. And then associates that say, hey, you know, hey, I see you, you support me, I support you, whatever's going on. You have to learn to separate all those entities from different things that you're doing. And my friends, we call it the 360 rule. The 360 rule is pretty much you get everything about me. My mom knows me. I was born. My sisters, they know how to get to me. They know how to get on my nerves. I know how to get on their nerves. That's 360. Mm-hmm. They know everything about it. The 190 is in like, you don't know everything about me, but you know enough to what I give you or tell you. So that's the thing that gets nowadays with people. You have to learn the 360, 190, how much effort or time people knows about you or what you can give them. So I think that's the whole lap of, you know, even with the cutoff and bridges is that, and so and take it like this too. Nowadays, it may not ever been a bridge to begin with. Some people may have a vision, you know, of an imaginary one where they thought that you was this way with them, but it's just what you gave them. And it's all about the amount of effort or the amount of space somebody's giving you to be in your life or what you're trying to do with them, because we have to be critical of how much we give people, how much energy that we have. And the energy is huge level to success nowadays, because what I can give energy to one person or to the next, they may take it the wrong way how I do things. I may do business with this person. Doesn't mean I'm going to do business with my family. They may see it and think that I'm supposed to give them that, knowing that it's not for them, it's for this. So, but it is pretty much how you critique it though. I love that. And you have to learn to be strategic to where you're going. So that's success.
I love that. Love that completely. I think you hit that topic good. Hit that topic really good. So let me ask you about this then. When it comes to weaknesses, how has your struggle been with figuring out your weaknesses as an entrepreneur?
Oh man, it was definitely, you know, for me, you know, everybody different with signs. I'm a tourist. I'm hard-headed. You know what I mean? So like for me, I don't want, you know, especially as I was growing and seeing my vision. Imagine you having a vision and somebody's trying to tell you what to do. Like, I know my vision. You can't tell me no different. So for me to really accept that or accept somebody else was trying to tell me something, I didn't want to hear that. Like, bro, go on with this shit. Excuse my language. But it's like, I had to understand that my weakness was my attitude. It was I had to reevaluate myself and understand that, like, you got to take this in order to grow. And it's like, just not even just because like a vulnerability thing, but it's pretty much, it's just a understanding thing. So you have to understand the laws of those things of where you're trying to go and where you're trying to finish with. So you have to be weak at some moments. And weak doesn't mean it's like you a punk, you all this and that. Weak means like you understand enough to know that I'm willing to take whatever route it is, even if it means have to humble myself down to get where I'm trying to go. Because if you think about it, not every successful person, every successful person has had a weak moment to get where they're going. They had a story. They had a beginning stage where they saw something or something got to them or they was at a weak point in their life. But they really made a turnaround to be like, okay, I needed that. We all need a hiccup or we all need a moment where we are weak and to the point to get where we're trying to go. Because like, imagine flowing in life, right? You're doing so good, but you know, sometimes as much as God knows you, the devil loves you too. You know what I mean? Everything else. So you got to understand that it's like a mirror aspect. So he hits you on the weak points. There we go again on some things, and then it breaks you down. But, you know, God is with you each step of the way. I don't know how religious some people are, but you have to stay in the laws of life, though, how it works. These are things that are supposed to go with you as long as when you're going through this journey. You're going to have some hiccups.
Oh, hiccups come with it. And that's the beautiful thing about hiccups. Hiccups is actually a blessing that teaches us what we need to do. Right. We are not going to get it right on the first try. When I started doing businesses when I was 16, and I've been through so many, and it took me so much. I had to learn how to let go of some things. Some businesses that I thought was going to be my bread and butter, that it was going to be 100% it. Let that go. Shoot, fitness training. I thought fitness training was going to be one of my loves. Deuces, but it's not for me because I realize what I want to do now. Yeah. Like eventually, the more you do things, the more it like hones in to what you truly need to do. Yeah. Like the more you figure things out, the more you become weak, or the moment the more that you accept your weaknesses, it's the moment you realize, okay, what am I strong in? What can I do? How can I do this?
Yeah.
What can I figure out? How can I patch in these blanks?
Yeah.
How can I feel myself so that I can be stronger in this next time?
Right.
Like every single moment and opportunity that we have, whether it's good or bad, it's good if we make it good. Yeah. Like if you hit me, it's going to be for my good. If you beat me up, it's going to be for my good. If you praise me, it's going to be for my good. If you look at me disrespectfully, it's going to be for my good. If you comment on my post disrespectfully, it's going to be for my good, because I'm going to respond in a way to where whoever else see my comment to your comment, they're going to love me because my maturity is going to show. Yeah. Like every opportunity, either it's bad or good, can be good depending on what we do with that opportunity. So we really have to understand that weaknesses is supposed to be there. Like, I love what you said earlier. I forgot what you said, but it made me want to say that you really have to, it's the humble. Sometimes you got to come and humble yourself. And I agree, because you got to treat yourself as if you're a kindergartner. A kindergartner, what they do is you tell them something, they love it. 1 + 1, 2, what? Yeah. 5 + 5, 10, yeah. What?
For sure.
Tell that to a college professor. Why are you bothering me with this ignorance right now?
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is that if you open yourself up to even the basic of information, you could put yourself in a position for you to get further than anybody else, because a lot of people is not taking basic practices to their job place or to their entrepreneurship, because they figure out that, okay, as long as I create this big stuff, but how about your team?
Yeah.
But how about your communication?
For sure.
But how about how you're elaborating your business to people? Yep. Like some of that basic stuff that you'll think that you already know, you skip over because you're too busy thinking like you're a college professor, when you got to be thinking like you're a kindergartner, willing to accept anything. But I perform like I am the best professional in the world. When I go out, I am executing myself in a way to where people question if they are even close to what I'm doing. And I elaborate to them that they are amazing and they can do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, that's the key point. But then you think about, you hit it right on the nail though. But it's like you know, we talk about like, it's just humble yourself. But in order, you got to become weak in order to become strong. Like, you know what I mean? You have to. I love experiences through people. We all been through something. So, but people gotta understand though, just because we look alike doesn't mean that we experience inner problems or certain things that we go through in life the same. Yep. You know what I mean? Everybody comes from a different cloth. Like me and you earlier, we talked about, I'm from Michigan. The first thing you think about Michigan is what? Detroit. You know, and I love Detroit because I have family from Detroit, or our homies that live that way.
I've been there one time.
You know what I mean? And then, but you know, you come from Compton, LA culture, so you know how it is. We on two different sides of the you know, with everything of the map. You know what I mean? But culturally wise, we understand things. You know what I mean? But we two different individuals, but we got similar, you know, likes in everything that we see. So it's just like
my brother from another mother, which is mother's behind us, but my brother from another mother.
For sure. You know what I mean? And I think that's relatable nowadays, is that people love everything that they can relate to. So like, I'm a young black individual. I was an athlete. I played college ball. I played overseas. So it's like a lot of dreams and stuff that was chased, a lot of people want to go. So they always like, hey James, how you do that? Like, what made you get there? Because they want to chase that same dream. People love what they can see or be attached to. And that's the charisma aspect. And I spoke about it before, like success is an attractive charisma. You know, people follow and pay suit to what you do every day, like your moves, every move that you make. Anything that you do is critical on a day-to-day basis. So it's like being understanding of what you are able to give. Because if you frontline to your people, you got it made. You know what I mean? Because you know, you want to be there in front of those steps because people want to know what's going on. But if you right there in front line with them, you ain't gonna miss a beat. And people will do anything for you if you come to their understanding. Yeah.
Like putting yourself on the front line is definitely a powerful thing that you can do with just not even just entrepreneurship and everything.
Sure.
Put yourself on the front line of a relationship. If I stop saying, why is my girl treating me wrong versus what can I do to make my girl treat me better? Like what is going on in a relationship for me to figure out how to make this relationship better? Like you take that personal responsibility, then you are able to change your relationship. A lot of people have bad times communicating with people because they're too busy pointing the finger at the other person. Like, I don't like how he talked to me. Like I hear so many of my lady friends, they be like, yeah, I don't like ladies because I don't like how they talk to me at all. Like I don't like how they talk or stuff. I'm like, try to learn a language that is able to comprehend everyone so that you are able to expand your network and become more powerful at what you do.
And that's crazy that you said that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
You know what I mean? But, I had to understand, like, everybody's not going to always come in on the same path or the same stage or the same level, because you think about it, like, people always come in prideful. I'll come in a room, what's the first thing men do when they see each other? They, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Either you gonna accept my coming to you or whatever it is, or my approach, or you cannot dislike it. You know what I mean? So, but you have every right to. It's just how I'm gonna reflect on it. I can't make another man like what I'm doing or my approach or how I come in the room.
Yep.
So you got to understand that, like, it happens. Or culture-wise, like, I remember one time I had an example where I went to Atlanta. Atlanta, they so hard on culture. Like, I went to a Waffle House. And, right before I got my order, she was like, what you want? So I'm like, man, she's got attitude. But she don't have an attitude. But it's just where they come from. That's how they talk. Or if some people that's loud, or you got one of those aunties or those grandmas just loud or whatever it is that's going on. It's not that she being loud and disrespectful. Some people just like that. So it's just really just understanding who they are. You know what I mean? And just the same way you are, so.
Shoot. I remember having to walk down, like when you are in certain environments. I was walking down Compton. Well, I used to walk from Compton to Long Beach to Compton, and do that on a consistent basis to go to church, to go to the library, to go to certain places. So, like when I'm walking through these places that have multiple gang activities, I'm making sure that when I have my face, don't mess with me, or else you may get it. Because if you don't, they're going to mess with you. Like, you got to come up with a demeanor that allows them to see the strengths within you. But then when you talk to me, they're like, this guy's cool as heck. Yeah. It's like judging a book by their cover or trying to talk to people in their first moment, you have to be willing to break through certain walls so that you can truly get to them.
For sure.
Because, one, it may be a situation like that. 2, they may have trust issues. 3, they may be antisocial. 4, they may not be comfortable talking at all. For sure. 5, they may have been hurt by plenty of friends before. You never know what somebody's situation is. Definitely. So it is our mission to learn how to talk to with everyone with love, especially as an entrepreneur. You're trying to build your network. You're trying to do what you need to do in order for you to get your foot in the door. Definitely. Whether it's the CEO or a homeless man, you have to treat everyone as if they have a crown on their head, which is why I love, I'm not even sure if it was from this book, which is my favorite book that it was like one of the first books I've read fully, which was, it's not, I was about to say Think Like a Man. It was Don't Think Like a Man. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Yeah. And that's a big book about communication. And one thing I tell all entrepreneurs, all people in general, to master communication. Just because you have the English language down packed doesn't mean you know how to communicate effectively. Are you able to go into a business and when they're closing, convince them to stay open just for a little bit longer? Because of the way that you came at them? Like, imagine if they're closing and like, nah, your sign says 12 o'clock, it's 11:55, let me in. Yeah. Or can I come up like, oh, okay, I see that's 11:55. I just need to get one thing. It's for my son. He has diapers, and I also just want to get another little quick thing. That's it, and I'm out your way. Yeah. Is it okay? I don't want to be a bothersome. I'm sorry, I got to ask this. Yeah. They'll be more suitable or more open to saying, yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah. A lot of people don't have that quality because if you don't accept me how I am, then that's it. Yeah. I agree with that. But also, you got to have skills that back you up for you to be able to access doors that your current self is not able to do. You have to learn how to communicate in such a way to where my words have so much power that I can open a door that's shut. Yeah. I can unlock a door that's locked. I can do things that's impossible because the power of the tongue is much more than just being able to speak life. It's being able to do things that I say I need to do in order for me to get to where I need to get to. And we are prohibiting or limiting ourselves from getting to certain places because we're not mastering communication. Yeah. So, last thing I'm gonna ask you, what is your experience and your output on communication, on how to speak as an entrepreneur?
Definitely. You must, as you know, my experience with that, man, it pretty much is just what comes out your mouth. You know what I mean? It's the power of the tongue, like we said, but also too is that you have to understand what rooms you're going to be in. You have to understand that it's homework behind this. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to go into a room full of bosses if I don't know who the bosses are. I don't know who the CEOs are. I have to understand that what's a Steve Jobs, what's certain people that I'm talking to, what's a Nipsey Hussle, what's a Rick Ross, what's a, you know what I'm saying, a certain, a person that's effective that can help me get to where I'm trying to go. So it's like, before I get in this room, I have to know how I'm going to talk to him, how I'm going to approach him. But also too, it comes with, setting the bar, setting the standard where that they'll notice me in my work too. Like, what's this brother? What he got going on? How's he going to affect me? I'm going to be a change to this. So, that was my line of experience, is just knowing that what room I'm going into. And then knowing too that I have to be humble enough to know that every room that you may go in is not going to always be liked, by other people. So, because you can go in some rooms and it's not always being liked, it's always about being respectful, being respected. So we always come with that line of respect.
And if I would say anything, read The Charisma Myth. Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Charisma Myth is a great book on how to even just let your presence alone be something powerful. Like looking at somebody, not being on your phone, just eye contact, saying yes, saying saying things. That presence alone can make you a powerful person. A lot of times people aren't powerful because they got their attention all over the place. Like your mind is running on 200, which is a normal thing. So you got to learn how to control that in order for you to allow your presence to become more known throughout a room. But that's our time. It was an honor having this guy on.
Appreciate you.
I'm definitely going to have him on again soon, and we're probably going to be expanding more on this topic. However, before we go ahead and hit us where we could find you, also what you do for the community and things like that.
For sure. So you can find me on Facebook at James Quince Williams, or you can hit me on IG, Instagram at James Q Williams, Snapchat Quince Williams, that's Quice. Williams 3. Always available. Hit me up to www.therealgrind.com, where you can find out different things that I got going on. Also, city-wise is with community, anything that I get involved in. Definitely always been an open book, always to collab and to do different things. So reachable as far as with the community, give back. I love giving to kids. I love the ownership, but also just the value of people coming together and building the Mecca and having the access. And that's usually what we want, is to have the access to build and to prepare for the future, but also those that's behind us.
Yep.
So
I love that. Okay, so that's the end of this podcast. I want to thank you for coming. This guy's an extraordinary guy that I'm gonna get the autograph of, and he's been hiding from me. But watch, I'm gonna get this autograph. But with that being said, King's Mode.